as I was telling Facebook, I'm going to try not to read from the paper. I'm going to read from the paper just so I don't misinform people of the information that I've so carefully looked up for everybody. It's a long list to go through. Just letting everybody know that I'm going to try not to ramble on. If you would prefer to wait until I edit this later to where I'm not rambling on like I'm doing right now, that's cool too. Because I will try to make sure as soon as I get done with this video this time to start working on my editing. But the first thing is first, and that is what are tics. Tics basically are a compulsive or repetitive sound or movement that's often difficult to control. So just repetitive movements that are you're not able to control. Just as simple as that. Um, the second thing is calling one's attention to a tic may make it worse, which is definitely true. I think I've had this one happen a couple of times. And that's just because it's made it more aware, make my brain more aware that it's happening to when some of my tics, I don't really notice them too much. Like recently, I've just had a tic started that's just my mouth twitching to the side and stuff like that. And kind of my nose, you know how Sabrina does a little crinkle her nose thing? I kind of do the same thing, and my mouth kind of draws to the side. So that's a new one, but that one's the one that I don't really notice that much unless if they're like big spasms or anything like that, which they usually aren't. It's just usually a small, just a slight movement. And sorry guys, I'm gonna edit this later on also that it may trigger other people that have tics. So please be aware of that when watching this video. That's why I'm going to go ahead and say it right now before continuing on. Um, some related health conditions related to this is just Tourette's, ADHD, OCD, Asperger's syndrome, which my brother has, or think, yeah, and also autism. So I think there may be more, but that's all that I found on that right now. Like I said, this is only a part one of this whole episode thing. So I'm sure that we will come back around to that one, you guys. And let's see, what do we have next? Tic disorders can run in families and can worsen with anxiety and also environmental issues, which I think brings me down to the nervous tics, which I will get down to that in a second, because that is what I suffer from is the nervous tics rather than a neurological from something being in your brain or something like that, some discharges or any abnormalities. Sorry guys, that's kind of a mouthful to say. um Tic disorders are commonly known to be childhood syndromes, which is true. Right. Facial and body twitches are common symptoms of anxiety. Also true. Um, which is another thing, like I was just saying a minute ago, that I suffer from a lot. And mine just started really in my face area. Usually mine are in my neck area and my arms. Um, sometimes there has been hitting myself lately, which is kind of annoying. It kind of hurts a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Um, What are nervous tics? Nervous tics are basically the same thing, you guys. It's just non-voluntary body movements or sounds that repeatedly occur quickly and suddenly. And usually the person doesn't know that they're doing it. They're not doing it on purpose or anything like that. People with nervous tics feel an urge to follow through with a certain behavior. Absolutely true. Um, I don't know an easy way to explain it. The best way I can explain it, I guess, is basically like the hiccups minus the hiccups. You, because like when you get the hiccups, you kind of feel, you feel that urge like you have to hiccup and you can't help it. It just happens. You just hiccup. That's kind of how it feels, minus the hiccups. um, I mean, that's kind of how it is. I mean, if that makes sense to you guys. If not, I'm going to try to explain it a little bit better when I get down to another one. Let's see. Which one were we at? All right. Periods of high stress or anxiety and organic pathologies are a few main reasons tics appear, meaning high stress, anxiety, or like environmental factors are good causes for them. Like I said, I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta kind of read it from the paper so that way I can make sure I don't misinform anybody because I don't know a lot about it. But I know that y'all have asked me a lot to talk to y'all about it. So I'm trying to do that to the best of my ability. Um, in many cases, they're connected to neuropsychiatric disorders, meaning like ADHD and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure is what that means. I'm not certain. You might want to look that part up. I will most likely do that part for you in the part two video. And also, I'm going to try not to read so much from the paper next time, also, because it's kind of making it a little bit more difficult for me. And I'm sure it's making it a bit difficult for you guys to listen to me. So once I get off here, I'm going to try to edit all of that stuff out to where you're not going to hear all that crap. And let's see, the last one that I have on here is nervous tics most frequently affect the face, neck, voice, and the upper torso, but it is possible to appear anywhere in the body. And like I just said a few minutes ago, that is where most of mine occur, is mostly in my arm area and my neck area. And I'm just recently, like, I would say about the day before yesterday, I've started having tics in my face. So that's kind of new. They're not too noticeable. I do notice them, but not severely. They're not that bad where, you know, when I'm hitting myself in the face, it's like, oh, just why are you doing that? Just slap myself in the face. Just, it's not that bad. It's just like a little twitch in my face or something like that, and I don't really notice it. And also, are ticks painful? I wouldn't say no, but I'm not really gonna say yes either. I guess it really depends. It honestly depends. Um, because there are some ticks, like I've said, like right before this, that some I don't even notice at all. And there are others that I'll notice a lot more than others, like hitting myself in the face. or throwing my medications across the room, or anything across the room for that matter, or shouting out curse words. I mean, normally I would say curse words, but I wouldn't shout them out like that. But there are times now where I shout them out. And there's also a lot of bird giving. Um, I heard that the buddy finger trick is a good one to do, which is you just tape your other finger to your middle finger. If you're too worried about giving people the bird, then every time you flick it up, you got your other finger with it. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's easier that way. You're not flicking people off, which may work a bit more for the adults because I don't quite think the children are going to want their fingers taped together like that. I mean, I guess if it bothers them like that, maybe they will keep it on there, but I don't really think kids are going to keep it on like that, honestly, you guys. Um, and honestly, it's not that big of a deal. That doesn't hurt unless they're trying to poke themselves in the eyeballs, all that stuff, then that's not even going to help anyway. Um, a lot of people have asked what can be done for their kids with tics and stuff like that. I'm not a doctor, so I can't give 100% advice, but I can give what I have been learning and what I've been taught, which is the fidget toys I heard are really good for people with tics, that can usually calm them down. It gives them something else to focus on. And I've even heard this in one of the tic groups that I'm in on Facebook, and her son had done this before several times and actually works for him a lot. And this brings me to another thing, you guys. What works for one person may not work for everybody. So the fidget toys, it may work for somebody and it may not work for another. Like it may work for me, it may not work for you, or maybe vice versa. It may work for you, it may not work for me. But there are different things that we can do to try to entertain our brains, I guess, to try to forget about it, to try to change our way of thinking. But, all right, this brings us back to our goal of our subscribers on here. Sorry, guys. Y'all can't see that. All right, that's our goal for our subscribers is our 5K. I don't think y'all can read that either, but, and yes, I just glued them on, so they're probably not stuck on there that great. They're probably going to start falling off. That's another reason why I don't have it hung up here behind me, minus the fact of our background back here. I just don't want to cover it up. Is I'm afraid they're going to fall off, and I spent some time putting it together. Like it's already coming apart. Already, I'm not a craft person, you guys. But that is basically it for our tech video. I know a lot of it was my jumbled up words because I was trying to read it off the paper. And next time we're gonna try to do something a bit different than just reading it off the paper because I didn't like that either. I'm pretty sure some of y'all didn't like that either. Um, I mean, I know y'all don't really like me rambling on, but it's much better than reading stuff off of this paper because one, I can't read at all. I mean, I can't read. I can read, but not while I'm on live or trying to talk to people out loud. I'm not good at reading out loud. But you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get off here. That way it makes it way easier for editing also. Um so this video may be taken down later, maybe, or maybe updated, something like that, if y'all want to check back. And what? My mouse doesn't work ever. Okay.